to the stream. As you see, we're doing some live cracker packs. We have a nice selection of boosters on offer. I've put some of the potential masterpieces to the back, and then we have an Ultimate Masters for our last card to be drawn. And yeah, so without further ado, we're going to start off with a pack of Guilds of Ravnica. Now, if any of you obviously are playing Arena at the moment, I'm enjoying Ravnica set. Haven't had as much chance to play Standard yet, so we'll get round to that at some point. Hopefully you can all hear me on the mic. I think I have set it up correctly for a change. Okay, come on. Need to get the blur off. What's the problem? See if I can quickly solve the blurring issue. No, yeah, there we go. Okay, we want focus. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, let's do that. That's probably as good as I can get. So sorry about that. Hello to the viewer in the chat area. Right, we have Fearless Halberdier, Righteous Blow, Leapfrog, Vicious Rumour. This was an all-star in the recent Anything Goes draft. Bigger Spore Worm, great card for draft. Capture Sphere, Golgari Locket, Maniacal Rage, Hired Poisoner, the Dandy Shieldmate, and we get on to the good stuff. Paul comes over here, it's going to be easier. Here we have Electrostatic Field, Wand of Vertebrae, a good one, Goblin Banneret, and okay, we've got to start off with Planeswalker. Alright, so this Guilds of Ravnica pack is already kicking off. This is quite nice. So we have Ral Izzet Viceroy for 5 mana Planeswalker, 5 loyalty, very good. +1, you get to look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, the other one into your graveyard. There's generally a lot of graveyard recursion with the Izzet spells and stuff like that with Jumpstart, so it can be quite useful. -3, deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant sorcery cards you own in exile and in the graveyard, so that's a very decent removal spell. And -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you'll deal 4 damage in target and you get to draw 2 cards. Now that is, you must draw 2 cards, so there isn't a may ability on that. I have seen someone deck themselves on Arena with this card, so yeah, just no wise word to the warning on that. Right, do we have anything else? No, we've got a Gilgate. Okay, so far we've got 1 Planeswalker. Not complaining, that was quite a nice pull to start with. Put him at the back here. Okay. Moving on. Right, I'm really actually happy with that. That's quite sweet. Wow, that is awesome. So, yeah, I've got to tweet that out, man. That's so awesome. We got a Walker. Okay, alright, and back to the chat. Okay, back to the chat. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Dominaria. Someone did ask me, what is this arena code thing? This is a special promotion they did in the Australasia region, so that's Australia and New Zealand. Essentially, you get a code, like in Pokemon cards, where you can transfer that code into Arena and you'll either get some gold and a random card, or occasionally you get a booster pack, I believe. So it is very useful, especially obviously as Pokemon players know, you buy a booster box and you're going to get a booster box worth of cards on the online game if you play it. So it's never too bad. So let's see what we get in Dominaria. Quite like this set. It was a very good set to play, a very good set to draft as well. So Fire Elemental, Charge, Crossing Druid, Drudge Sentinel. This is a pet card I quite liked, especially just for the indestructibility. Cabal Evangel, Aven Sentry. Yeah, Skitter Surveyor, good mana fixing, very useful, especially in sealed and draft. Primordial Worm, 7/6. I wish I had trample on it. Academy Drake, it's a kicker and it gets 2/1/1 counters, but it's not a bad flyer. Demonic Vigor, when it dies, it goes back to your owner's hand. Quite good. And then we move on to the good stuff. We have Untamed Karvu. Vigilance Trample 2/2, and if you kick it in the battlefield, it becomes a 5/5. So, 5/5 for 5 mana is not bad with Vigilance and Trample. All-Star Sealaway, fantastic card. Great at getting aggressive decks and controlling the board. And, I forget that the arena packs are not the arena packs, the Dominaria packs are a completely random order. So we have our rare, which is Precognition Field. You get to look at the top card of your library, you may cast top card if it's into the sorcery, and you may pay 3 and exile the top card of your library. So you can sort of fix your deck and fix your draws as you go. And we have Garner the Blood Flame is our legendary. So 5 mana, 3/3 with flash. When it enters the battlefield, return to your hand all creature cards from your graveyard that were put there from anywhere, and other creatures you control have haste. This is a great end step. Flash her in, get everything back after a board wipe, and then go on the big attack. And then we have nothing. Right, so that was our legendary. Put that there. Yeah, in the UK, our oh yeah, no, I wish it was Teferi. Hello, the filthy casual. So we'll probably enter that arena code and see what we get, but it'll probably just be another. I've done it once before, and I only got some gold and some a random card. I think it was like a random common. So I'm going to move on to Conspiracy next. So Conspiracy take the crown. I think big money cards in this is Kaya. Kaya's quite a good one to pull. So we'll see what we get from her. Okay, nice. And as I said, Happy New Year's to you all. It is currently New Year's Eve here in good old New Zealand. So yeah. Right, we have Absorb Viz. Target player loses 4 life, you gain 4 life. Basically, one of the things they had was basic land cycling and some. It's quite a good late game card to use, especially when you've because it is generally plays in multiplayer format, so it's good to remove a player late game. But it's also great for mana fixing in early game. Traumatic Visions, 5 mana counter spell or basic land cycling again. Oh, sorry. We have Hurly Burly. I actually love this card. It actually has won me several conspiracy drafts. It is very useful. It'll deal 1 damage to each creature without flying, and it deals, or you can deal 1 damage to each creature with flying. So it's great at removing little tokens out of the way. Driver of the Dead, 4 mana 3/2. When it dies, you return target creature card with CMC 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Great for some graveyard recursion and synergy. Great classic, Disenchant, destroy target artifact and enchantment. Orchard Elemental. So Council's Dilemma was the one of the main mechanics. When it enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player votes for Sprout or Harvest. Put 2/1/1 counters on the creature for each Sprout vote, and you gain life for each Harvest vote. Generally, if any of your opponents also choose to put 1/1 counters on this, it is horrific and generally means it's going to be dead because there is a removal spell on the board about to come and get you most of the time. Okay, Throne Warden, 2 mana at the beginning of the end step. If you're the Monarch, put a 1/1 counter on it. So, and there is, I have actually seen someone at the last GP who was running a Monarch deck in Pauper, and it was very interesting, very spicy. I'll say I have Yet to build it on Magic Online, but I am debating trying to get the cards and do it. Kite Sail, 2 mana artifact, gives +1/+0 and flying in the equip for 2, so it's generally good. Voyaging Satyr, untap target land. Obviously, everybody knows this from when he was in Theros block and it was untapping. What's the stupid Devotion land, which just get practically infinite mana. It was ridiculous. Flame Slash, 1 mana, deal 4 damage to target creature. Really wish this was in standard. Well, we got Lava Coil, which is quite better, I suppose. Right, that was all the comments. Now moving into the uncommons. So Besmirch, 3 mana until the end of turn, gain control of target creature, gains haste, untap, and goad that creature. So basically goad was until your next turn, that creature attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. So essentially you can generally pick their biggest creature, you attack with it, and it's going to give you a return of respite, and it has to attack everyone else on the board. So it's quite good. We have Ghostly Prison. 3 mana, obviously enchantment, and they can't attack you unless they pay 2 for each attacking creature. And then our good old friend Gutter Snipe, who's now back in standard. I'm having some success on Arena using him in my Goblin deck at the moment. And we have Recruiter of the Guard. Now, this is actually a popular card. I don't know this. This is where he's playing Legacy. It's 3 mana, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with toughness 2 or less, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Obviously, this can go Goifs and various things like that, or horrible nature. So yeah, it is a very popular card. It does see play also in Commander as well, so that is quite a good pull. And we have Incendiary Dissent, which is an agenda conspiracy. So you start with a hidden, and then you get to flip it whenever you want, and then creatures you control with the chosen name get fire breathing. So it's not too bad. And we have a Soldier's Token. Okay. Right. Now we're moving on to some of the more high-end ones. So we've got Magic Origins next. So we're going to see what we get from that. Right. So what? Foil flip Jace would be nice. So I actually joined at the end of Origins just before the Battle for Zendikar, so it's quite nice to come back and look at this. So Dark Dabbling regenerates target creature and you get to draw a card. And if you've got Spell Mastery, which is when you have 2 or more instances of sorcery in the graveyard, you also regenerate each other creature you control. We have Chandra's Fury, 5 mana, deal 4 damage to target player, 1 damage to each creature they control. So great for a little bit of chipping in for damage, not too bad. Charging Griffin, 4 mana, 2/2 flying, whenever it attacks gets +1/+1. So, very good. Macabre Waltz, 2 mana, return 2, you get to return 2 from your graveyard and then you have to discard a card. 2 Screeching Scarab, 2 mana, 2/1, when it enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. It's fairly decent, it's not too bad. I think it would actually see play actually right now in standard if it was there. Then we have Vastwood Gorger, 6 mana, 5/6, just a big beefy creature. Disperse, 2 mana, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. This is still in standard from the core set, so quite happy to see this. Caustic Caterpillar, I had a hilarious deck that was enchanted. This essentially just caused lots of problems, and this actually won me a game at one point against the Minotaurs, so that was really funny before they rotated. Then we have Knight of the Pilgrim's Road. You're calling Gideon. I see the chat. You're calling Gideon. Okay, all right. So I can't remember what his unflipped name is. I can't remember. So we have Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, Renown. If it deals damage to combat, it gets 1/1. Kind of, it's 3 mana, 3/2 on its own, so it's not too bad. Unholy Hunger, 5 mana, destroy target creature, and then if you have Spell Mastery, you also gain 2 life. So it's not too bad. They have currently Lich's Caress in standard. That's 5 mana, destroy target creature, gain 3 life. So yeah, this is that's straight up better than this one, but it's not too bad. Oh, the good old favourite. Everybody loves this card. Sphinx's Tutelage. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or their library into a graveyard. If they're both non-land cards that share a colour, repeat this process. And you pay 6 mana to draw a card and discard a card. I hate this card. Quite evidently, I hate this card. And it's mainly because of Total MTG, Matt's fault. We were playing a Commander game and he got this down against me, against my black-red Goblin deck. And yeah, it ruined me. Quite literally. It was ridiculous. I hate this card. Right, next card. Before I start going down Salt Avenue. Towergeist, 4 mana 2/2. Flying when it enters the battlefield with the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand and you put it into your graveyard. So, you know, 4 mana, get a 2/2 body and draw a card. And it's got flying as well, so it's not too bad. Then we have Blightcaster. So 4 mana 2/3. Whenever you cast an enchantment, you may have target creature get -2/-2 turn. We have what, the Ravenous Tube? No, not Ravenous Chupacabra. This is the other Chupacabra, the one that does the same effect but with Explore. So you know, it was quite good. We had to be in drafting. You had to be in the enchantment deck. And our rare is Battlefield Forge. Boo, boring. So it's obviously a pain land. Taps a generic colour, so you pay, or you'll deal 1 damage to yourself to get it coloured. I do have them in my modern deck, so it's not too bad. And nothing and nothing. Right. So far we've started off well, and we're kind of in mediocre town at the moment. Let's just quickly go. So we got these 3 from our last 3 packs, and we got we got Ral. Is it Viceroy from our first pack? So let's see. We're now moving into possible masterpiece territory with Kaladesh, Our Devastation, Ether Revolt, and then we have Ultimate Masters for last. Womp womp womp. Yes. So I'll tell you what. We'll do Hour of Devastation first, and then we'll go to Kaladesh block and see what we get. So Filthy Cash, any predictions on what we're going to get in this one, man? If you're predicting cards. Okay. So, Disposal Mummy, 3 mana 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Yeah, it's not bad. It was alright in the Mummy deck. It's just weird having white mummies, quite frankly. Haven of Enduring Hope, 5 mana 3/3. When it flies and enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. It's not too bad. Countervailing Winds, 3 mana Mind's Eye, Masterpiece Mind's Eye. You know what? I'll actually take a Masterpiece Mind's Eye. I really would. So 3 mana instant, counter target spell, and this pays for 1 of each card in your graveyard. So it's actually a very good count as well, I found, from playtest when I was playing in Seals. Wretched Camel, if it dies and you control the desert, or there's a desert in your graveyard, target player discards card. There was a big desert synergy in this set. It was quite fun to play. We then have Harriet Naga, 3 mana 3/3. Quite simple. It's a warrior and a Naga. Although everyone should have argued it should have been snakes rather than Naga. Anyway. Lurching Rock Beast, 4 mana 4/2, and you can cycle for 1. Yeah, very decent. It's good. Got a good punch on it, so it was always quite good to play. Wall of the Forgotten Pharaohs, 2 mana Defender to 0/4, and you can tap it and you'll do 1 damage to target player, but you can only activate this if you have a desert or there's a desert in your graveyard. This is actually a very good strategy, having loads of these in your deck and just pinging your opponent to death. It was always very good. We have Survivor's Encampment. Okay, it's a land. It's obviously a desert as well. It taps for colours, or you tap and untap creature you control and add 1 mana to any colour. This is very much like the Hold Outpost from Battle for Zendikar block as well, which also did the same thing. Orkestra's Avenger, 2 mana, and then you may exert it as it attacks when you do prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to it this turn. So it was always very good for getting in for 3 damage. If you ended up beefing it up and giving it lifelink or anything like that, it generally had to be dealt with. Then we have Magmaroth, 4 mana 5/5. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get to put 1/1 counter on it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you remove a 1/1 counter from it. -1 counter. So if you have a decent amount of spells, you can keep this thing around for a long time. If not, it gets weaker and weaker as you go. Right, then we going into the uncommons. We have Ramanap Ruins, the card that got banned, I believe, if I remember right off the top of my head. It was just too OP apparently, just for extra damage. You can pay a life and add mana, or you just get colourless, and then you can pay 4 and sack a desert, and you'll do 2 damage to each opponent. And then we have Ominous Sphinx. So 5 mana 4/4, flying. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, your creatures your opponents control get -2 mana. So it allows you to get through some damage. Then we have Solemnity. Wow. Okay, not a bad card. 3 mana enchantment, and players basically can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, or enchantments, or lands. So essentially, -1 counters, poison counters in Commander, and various things like that. There's actually a modern deck built around this and Phyrexian Unlife, which essentially means you can't lose the game. It is very horrible. So, ooh, we got a foil rare. We got foil Freeing Sanity. That is not bad. So 3 mana, it's an Aura Curse. Enchant player at the beginning of each player's end step. Enchant player puts the top X cards of his or her library into the graveyard, where X is the number of cards that have been put into the graveyard from anywhere this turn. So they cast a spell, they lose creatures from the battlefield, you make them discard, it all triggers it. It is quite horrible, but it's very nice, not complaining. So, and we got a full art swamp, and we have our random exertion thing. So that's not too bad. Oh well, would have been nice. Right, now on to the last 3 packs. We'll start with, we'll start with Kaladesh. I'll do them in order because you never know, we'll see some synergies. Right. Okay. We have Vidalcan Blademaster, 3 mana 2/3 with prowess. I think this is the set where they made prowess an evergreen mechanic as well, if I remember right. So 1 mana Ruinous Gremlin, 1/1. Pay 3, sack it, destroy target artifact. There was artifact heavy synergies everywhere, so these were generally quite useful. Herald of the Fair, 3 mana 3/2, and ends the battlefield. Target creature control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Subtle Strike, 2 mana instant. You can choose one or both, and a target creature get -1/-1, or you put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Generally, I never knew anyone not to do both modes on this, unless you didn't have a creature on board. But it was always good. I suck at this. Sorry, I thought that was Kaladesh until you ripped them. Oh yeah, I suppose Mind Eye is an artifact, isn't it? It's not a spell. Oh, so it's alright, I'm getting confused myself, pal. Right. Kajar, Seed Sculptor, 2 mana 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Obviously great for getting 1/1 counters around. Gearseeker Serpent, 7 mana, 5/6. It costs 1 less for each artifact you control, and you pay 6 mana, and it can't be blocked. It was a very good beta in sealed, I have to tell you right now. I used it quite a lot. Fireforge Puzzle Knot, 2 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and then you can sack it, and it'll do the same thing. Renegade Tactics, 1 mana sorcery. Target creature can't block this turn, and you get to draw a card. Renegade Freighter, 3 mana 4/3. Whenever it attacks, gets +1/+1 against trample at the end of the turn, and it only accrues for 2. So they introduced the vehicle synergies and mechanics in this set. They were actually generally very well received, although it was hilarious when you have creatures from a peasant pilgrim world, such as Innistrad, crewing high-tech artifact vehicles. But anyway. Pressure Point, 2 mana, instant, tap target creature, and then you get to draw a card. Fretwork Colony, so this is our first uncommon. 2 mana, 1/1, you can't block it, beginning of your keep, put a 1/1 counter on it, and you lose a life. If you had plenty of ways to gain life, this was actually something that had to be dealt with. It was generally quite powerful. Shrewd Negotiation, 5 mana, exchange control, target artifact you control, and target artifact or creature you don't control. So generally you would trade something away that's little and you don't care about, or like a renegade map, and you get that big beefy creature normally most of the time. Minister of Inquiries, 1 mana 1/2. When it enters, you get 2 energy. This is where they introduced energy counters as well. and tap, and you can pay 1 energy, and you mill the top 3 of your opponent's library. There was a strategy with this with the whale that entered for 6 mana, and you could generally bounce things, mill things. It was generally quite ridiculous. And we have Eliminate the Competition. So 5 mana sorcery. As additional, you sacrifice creatures and you destroy creatures. So, you know, if you sack little servos, you can generally get rid of most of their horrible blockers and you go from there, really. It was generally alright. And we have nothing, so no masterpiece there. Wah, wah, wah. Right, but we have one more chance at a masterpiece. Just one. So, let's see what we're going to get. So we have, to start off with, we have Decommission. 3 mana instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And Revolt, so if you have a permanent you control left the battlefield, you then gain 3 life. Revolt was actually a fairly decent mechanic. It was good with Evolving Wilds and stuff like that. Ether Chaser, 2 mana, 2/1. First strike, and as you get 2 1/1s, and then when it attacks, you can pay 2 mana and, 2 energy, not mana, and you create a servo creature. Leaving the Dust, 4 mana instant, return target non-land permanent to his owner's hand, you get to draw a card. So a bit like Blink of the Eye at the moment, but obviously for its kick value. Renegade's Getaway, so 3 mana instant, target permanent gets a destructible, and you create a servo. Lifecraft Cavalry, 5 mana 4/4 with trample, and if you've triggered Revolt, yeah, it's with 2 1/1 counters. So you have 5 mana 6/6 with trample, not bad. Fenhauler, 7 mana insect, 5/5, improvise. Improvise was the mechanic where you could tap artifacts to basically, it's literally convoke in the modern thing. So you'd convoke out creatures for cheaper, but you could only use artifacts to do it. And this can't be blocked by artifacts. Renegade Map. 1 mana artifact, enters battlefield tapped, and then you can sack it and search a land and then put it into your hand. Yep, fairly good. It was actually useful. Welder Automaton, 2 mana 2/1 and pay 3 in a red, and it'll deal 1 damage to each opponent. Actually had to be answered in. I had an opponent who nearly killed us in 2-headed giant with this. It was ridiculous. Lafnu Sailback, 5 mana 5/4, just generic. It's fairly good. Iron Treasure Crusher, 4 mana 6. It's a 4 mana artifact. You create it for 3 and it's a 6/6 vehicle. Generally, you would be chumbucked all day long. Here we go. Now we're talking. So we're now onto the uncommons, and we got the Untethered Express, 4 mana vehicle. It's a 4/4 with trample, but whenever it attacks, you get a 1/1 counter, and you can create it for 1. So it was actually very good as a vehicle. It was generally, but it's also commonly nicknamed the Dino Train. We have Barricade Breaker, 7 mana. You can improvise it out, and it must attack each combat if able. So generally had to be answered. If you could cheat it out early, it was generally quite game winning. We got one more, which is Fatal Push, the probably the most popular removal spell for quite some time. I don't think I don't think Wizards will ever go this cheap again on something. It generally had to be answered, and especially the Revolt was so easy to trigger, and it's useful and is obviously still used in modern and various things like that. So that's actually quite good. And the rare is Heroic Action. 2 mana instant permanent you control, again hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. So generally it's very good. I used this a few times for board wipes and various things of that nature. It's generally good. Now, do we have anything? Are we lucky? No. No. Oh, wah wah wah. Well, it's all down on the Ultimate Masters now then. So far we have had probably very little out of all our packs, but good fun, why not? So let's crack open this, see what we get. Nice. Oh, that's weird, the tokens, hang on. Is the rare the other way around then? Yes it is. Right, okay, so we'll do it the backwards way. I didn't see what it was. I'll just have a look to see if I can see the gold symbol or the mythic symbol. Okay, we have Nightbird's Clutches. 2 mana sorcery. Up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn, and you can flash back 4/4. You got Pilgrim, 3 mana Human Cleric. When it enters battlefield, you may search your library for an aura card, then put it into your hand. Double Cleave. 1 in either red or white. Instant target creature gains double strike until the end of the turn. Generally quite horrible. Thermal Alchemist. 2 mana Defender. Tap it and it'll deal 1 damage, but whenever you cast an instant sorcery, it'll untap itself, so you can get a bit of recursion going on with that. Crow of Dark Tidings. 3 mana flying. When it enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Shed Weakness. 1 mana attack creature gets +2/+2, and you may remove all -1 counters from it. Unholy Hunger. 5 mana destroy target creature, and then if you've, obviously we've seen this before when the Origins pack, if you have a Spell Mastery, you get 2 life. Blood Flow Connoisseur. 3 mana 1/1, sack a creature, put a 1/1 counter on Blood Flow Connoisseur. So Aristocrat strategy, very useful. Sultai Skullkeeper. 2 mana 2/1, when it enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards for your library into your graveyard. Hissing Iguana. 3 mana 3/1, whenever another creature dies, you may have Hissing Iguana deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Sleight of Hands. So first uncommon. Actually, Sleight of Hands generally played by Storm players. They're quite happy about this. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. Angel of Despair. That's a 7 mana 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. So land or anything generally goes bye-bye. Last uncommon, we have Dreamscape Artist. 2 mana 1/1, tap, pay 3 and tap it, discard a card, sacrifice the land, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, and put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. I actually used this in the Chaos Draft. It was actually quite good, especially for ramping me out into very big, horrible spells. Right, so we have the rare, which is Noble Hierarch. Yes, yes, yes. Very happy about that, because I was needing, I think, only 1 more, maybe might 2 more, but still, very happy about that. So that's help paid for the booster, and probably several of these boosters as well. So I'm very happy about that. Right, now the foil. We have God's Willing. Seriously, I mean, I'm happy with the foil. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy with Noble Hierarch, but seriously, and foil common. Oh, boo, boo hiss. Anyway, oh well. So sadly, that is it for us here at Orc's Head Magic. But you know, we got some good cards. We did get 1 foil rare, a Noble Hierarch, and we did get a Planeswalker. So I'll just quickly show you all these again. So Ral Visit Viceroy, obviously Noble Hierarch, and a foil Fraying Sanity, which is very pretty, I have to say. And everything else is a bit of jank. Maybe Recruit the Guard's worth something, and possibly Solemnity, but I don't think they'll be worth very much. And yeah, so that's it really from us here at Orc's Head Magic. That's a decent card, Pauper Protection. No, I'm not. No, hey, I play Pauper, and I have it in my Slivers deck, but I just, you know, come on, it's a bit dull. I'd rather have something a bit more exciting for the channel. Come on. But yeah, so without further ado, this has been my first attempt at doing a live stream in terms of real paper magic. The setup I've got at the moment, we can't deal with Arena just yet, but we're going to get that solved and fixed for the new year. And yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. I've been Jordan here from Orc's Head Magic. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you can, various things like that. And yeah, thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you guys soon.